From baby boomers to Generation X to Generation Y, communication has changed significantly. Each generation has a variety of different communication needs and styles based on culture, lifestyle, and technology. I'm going to explore the differences in communication between three generations: the baby boomers, Generation X, also known as the Xers, and Generation Y, also known as the millennials. A generation defines a large group of people that were born in a certain time frame and have similarly experienced historical events that have helped to shape their values, perspectives, and communication style. A generation known as the baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. They were born post-World War II into a healthy economy and born during a baby boom. Most of them had to be very competitive due to the baby boom because in order to achieve their goals, they were competing against a lot of people. Boomers generally prioritized career over everything else, and they worked a lot of hours and held high power positions over people born in other generations. The excessive amount of hours worked caused a lack of communication between married couples and brought about a large divorce rate during this generation. The main form of communication for boomers was telephone and good old-fashioned mail. Generation Xers were born between 1965 and 1979. A lot of Xers were babies, or were children of baby boomers, so a lot of them had to deal with divorce, overworking parents, along with a recession. All these things made the Xers become independent, which led them to seeking out interactive communication. Unlike the boomers, who were not able to be involved in much of anything because they worked too many hours. Once Xers were out in the workforce, technology began to expand at a quick rate and brought about new forms of communication like cell phones and the internet. People from Generation Y were born in 1980 and after. People born later in this generation have a completely different outlook on communication, especially when you compare them to the boomers. Millennials were born when technology was approaching major advancements. Change is a big part of the Y generation, and generally the children are taught that they should respect themselves and question authority, which puts them at a communication disadvantage with baby boomers who have a high respect for authority. The advances with technology brought many new and different ways to communicate. Children of this generation use the internet, iPhones, iPads, tablets, Facebook, Skype, social networking, and so on. This puts the boomers at a disadvantage because they're not as familiar with all these newest ways of communicating. I was born during the last years of Generation X. I think that this gives me the upper hand when communicating intergenerationally because I learned and used communication tools and skills from all three generations. And I have a better understanding of different possible communication barriers between generations. I have 4 children that were born into Generation Y. There are many differences in communication between when I was a child and their ways of communicating. I would barely use the phone. I'd ride my bike to school, to my friend's house, and meet up at the park, but they spend almost all their free time on the iPhone or instant messaging or texting, and they don't even talk on the phone, they just message. But I seem to find myself using more and more of these methods. They seem quicker, more efficient, and I have a better long-distance relationship with my family due to all these new methods of communication. Each generation has different communication needs and styles based on a variety of different things, including lifestyle, culture, and technology. When and where people are born does contribute to the values and overall perspectives and impacts their communicative characteristics. Having an open mind and good knowledge of communication barriers between generations can result in positive communication among everyone. Good communication skills are a major part of forming and maintaining healthy relationships.